Swinburne test. Swinburne's. This test is given by the Swinburne. That's why the test name is the Swinburne's test. The test name is the Swinburne's test. It is very simple test. It is very simple test. It is a indirect test. It is a indirect. By means of this test, we are calculating only the constant losses occurs in a DC motor. Constant losses occurs in a DC motor. Remember that the constant losses is only depending upon the speed of a motor. It is only depending upon the speed of a motor. So these losses are constant in a motion, constant in a motor. These losses are constant in a motor. Once we know the constant losses in a DC motor, we are using the data to calculate the efficiency of the motor or generator at any value. Or generator at any value. Now we are going to see the Swinburne test. So remember here, Swinburne test is nothing but a indirect test. Swinburne test is nothing but a indirect test. It is also no load test. We are not applied any load on the DC motor. We are not applied any load on the DC motor. This test is used to find out the constant losses in a DC machine. That may be the motor or generator, whatever it is. But when you are going to conduct this test, we are operating that machine as a motor only. We are operating that machine as a motor. This is the circuit diagram for the Swinburne test. Supply here, DPST switch. Here we are keeping one ammeter to measure how much current is flowing taken by the motor. How much voltage we are applying to the motor, that will be measured by the voltmeter. This is a 3-point starter. By means of a 3-point starter, we are starting the motor. To regulate the starting current, we are using a 3-point starter. This is the field winding of a motor. To regulate the speed of a motor, we are keeping one resistance in series with the field winding. To know how much current is flowing through the field winding, we are keeping a ammeter also. This is the DC motor. In this test, no need to apply any load. On the motor. Now we are going to see the procedure. Close the DPST switch. Nothing but we are supplying a DC supply to the motor. By means of a 3-point starter, start the motor by running at some speed. By means of a field rheostat, by changing the field rheostat, make sure that the speed of the motor is rated speed. After starting the motor by means of 3-point starter, by means of field rheostat, make sure that the speed of the motor is rated speed. Suppose the rated speed of the motor is given 1500 RPM. Initially, after starting the motor by means of a 3-point starter, the motor is running at a 1450 RPM. After starting the motor by means of 3-point starter, if the motor is running at a 1415 RPM, now by changing this rheostat, the flux will be decreases, the speed of the motor will be increases. Make sure that the speed of the motor is equal to the rated value. Rated speed. This is very, very important. In this case, we have taken the rated speed as a 1500 RPM. See, this is very, very important. After maintaining the rated speed of a DC motor, note down the readings of voltmeter and 2 ammeters. Well, a single reading only. See here, if you see the table, serial number, voltmeter, 1 ammeter, nothing but this ammeter. line current, you can take it as a line current. Nothing but supply current. The one more current is there, that is this ammeter. That is this you can take it as a A1, or this you can take it as a A2. This is the reading of A1. This is the reading of A2. This is representing IL. This is representing the IF. Nothing but a field current. It is a single reading only. It is a single reading. So where we have to note down this reading means the speed of the once the speed of the motor reaches the rated value, then you have to note down the reading of voltmeter and 2 ammeters. 2 ammeters. Now by using this data, we are going to calculate the constant losses in a motor. Those constant losses we are using to find the efficiency of a motor. Now come to the circuit diagram. See here, we are not applied any load on the motor, but the motor is taking some amount of power. How this power will be utilized in a motor? The some amount of power will be wasting as a field copper loss, and some amount of power will be wasting as a armature copper loss, and remaining power will be goes to supply the constant losses in a motor, because we are not applied any mechanical load on the motor. It is no load test. At no load also, the motor is taking some amount of power, means it is going to supply the losses in a motor. So what are the losses means? Field copper loss and armature copper loss, and remaining power goes to supply the constant losses in a motor. Nothing but rotational losses. The rotational losses plus shunt field losses are nothing but a constant losses. The rotational losses plus shunt field copper loss are nothing but a constant. To meet the losses in a DC motor, this motor is taking some amount of power from the supply in a Swinburne test. That is the concept here. Now, after completing the testing, here we know the voltmeter reading. We note down the readings of voltmeter, 2 ammeters. Once we know these two values, we are going to calculate the constant losses in a motor. See how we are going to calculate the constant losses. See here, we have table from the X-Men, serial number, voltmeter reading, ammeter A1, ammeter A2. Ammeter A1 is nothing but line current. The reading of AT is nothing but a field current. Now from this line current and field current, you can calculate the armature current, IA equal to IL minus IF, armature current. IL minus RF. How much current is flowing through the armature? That is equal to input current minus shunt field current. Once we know the armature current, we know the armature resistance. Take the multimeter, connect across the armature terminals, it directly gives the reading. How much resistance of a armature winding. Suppose if we take the armature winding resistance is RA, then armature copper loss equal to IA square RA. See here, we know the value of serial number. Here we are getting the voltmeter reading V. This is IL. This is field current. From these two values, we are calculating the armature current. Once you know the armature current, we are calculating the armature copper loss. Armature current equal to input current minus field current. So from the input power, if you subtract the armature copper loss, the remaining quantity is nothing but a constant losses. The constant losses in a motor equal to Input power nothing but a V into IL, in this case V into IL minus IA square RA. To represent this current at no load, here we have taken the IA 0. So why you have taken the IA 0? Nothing but that armature current at no load. That armature current at a no load. Where you got this reading means, this reading we are getting from the Swinburne test. We are getting this reading from the Swinburne test. From the Swinburne test, we know the value of voltage and IL and IF. From this one, we are calculating the IA naught, nothing but a no load armature current. Once you know the no load armature current, you can calculate the armature copper loss, IA square RA. Once you know the armature copper loss, constant losses in a motor, WC equal to input power minus no load copper loss. No load armature copper loss. Input power minus no load armature copper loss. That is equal to constant losses. That is equal to constant losses. So once we know the constant losses are constant in a machine. It is not depending upon the how much mechanical load we are applying the motor, or it is not depending upon how much electrical load we are applying on the DC generator. It is only depending upon how much speed the motor will be rotating. That is the reason that in a Swinburne test, we are maintaining the speed of a motor as a rated speed. This is the reason. It is the reason that that's why we are maintaining the speed of a motor as a rated speed. We are maintaining the speed of motor as a rated speed. So once we know this value, then we can easily calculate the efficiency of the motor. Suppose if we take the, now we know the constant losses. We know the sum value of the constant losses. We know the sum value of constant losses. See, these constant losses we are finding from the Swinburne test. Now let me take some example. See here, this voltmeter reading 200. Ammeter reading, line current, take it as a 2 amperes. Field current 1 ampere. Armature current becomes a 1 ampere. Armature resistance you can take it as a 1 ampere. Now this value becomes a armature resistance you can take it as a RA equal to 1 ampere. Take some value. Always the armature resistance should be less than the 1 ohm for well design of the machine. For well design of the machine. Suppose if we take the RA value equal to 1 ohm, then the armature copper loss equal to 1 square into 1 becomes a 1 watt. How much is the input power? The input power equal to, see here, this voltmeter reading becomes a 200. The input current is 2 amperes. This value minus 1 watt. Nothing but this value becomes a 400 minus 1. This is equal to 399 watts. This is the constant losses in a motor. I have taken some example. If we take these readings in a Swinburne test, we are getting the constant losses that is equal to 399 watts. We are getting the 399 watts. Once we know the value, just you try to remember this constant losses. The constant losses, how much value you got it? Constant losses, WC equal to, we got the value of WC equal to 399 watts previously. Now we want to find out what is the efficiency of the motor at a 4 amperes of current. At a 4 amperes of current. See here. Now we are going to calculate the efficiency of the motor at 4 amperes of current. This is very, very important. Whether it is motor or generator, whatever it is. So already we know that we are treating that machine as a motor. This current becomes a input current. This current becomes a input current. In case of motor, here the current is given means the motor is taking the 4 amperes of current. How much is the efficiency? How much is the efficiency? That we are going to calculate. See, We have taken the shunt motor. This is the input current. If IL equal to 4 amperes, already shunt field current is constant. IF value we know, that is 1 ampere. Now armature current equal to IA equal to 4 amperes minus 1 ampere, nothing but 3 amperes we are getting. Next we are going to calculate the armature copper loss at this value of current. Armature copper loss IA square RA equal to 3 square RA we have taken the value as 1. See here we are getting 9 watts. 9 watts. See, when the motor is taking the 4 amperes of current from the line, the armature copper loss occurs in a motor is 9 watts. Already we know the constant losses. For the constant losses, if we add the armature copper loss, we know the total losses occurs in a motor. Total loss occurs in a motor. Now, total losses in a motor equal to constant losses we know 399 plus 9 watts. How much you are getting? 804. 408 watts. This is the total amount of loss occurs in a motor. Now, how much is the input power at 4 amperes of current? Because we are trying to find out what is the efficiency of the motor at 4 amperes of current. We are trying to find out what is the efficiency of the motor at 4 amperes of current. The voltage applied to the motor is constant. That is 200 only. Now, the input power equal to 200 into 4 amperes, where we are going to calculate the efficiency, that is 4. This is equal to 800 watts. This is the input power. So this much of input power is taken by the motor. This much of loss will be occurred. Nothing but a input power minus this loss is nothing but a output power of a motor. Now output equal to input power minus total losses, that is equal to 800 minus 408 watts. How much value you are getting? Here 293. This is the watts. 392 watts. Some value you are getting. Now once you know the output power, this is the output power of a DC motor at 4 amperes of current. At 4 amperes of current. Now once you know the output power and input power, now the efficiency of the motor equal to output power divided by the input power into 100 into 100. This is nothing but a efficiency of a motor. This is nothing but a efficiency. The same manner, see here we have calculated the efficiency of the motor at 4 amperes of current. Same manner, you can calculate what is the efficiency of the motor at 6 amperes, 8 amperes, 10 amperes. How much value of the current we want to calculate? We can calculate by using a constant losses in a motor. But here, by conducting a Swinburne test, we calculated only constant losses only. But we are finding the efficiency at any value of the current, That's why we are calling the test as a indirect test. We are not applying any load on the motor to find the efficiency at a particular value of the current. See, in this manner, we can calculate the efficiency of the motor. Now we are going to see how do you find the efficiency of the generator. Suppose the same machine is operating as a generator. How much could be the efficiency of that generator? See, already we know from the Swinburne test, now we are going to find out what is the efficiency of generator at 4 amperes of current. See here, so taken the generator, draw the circuit diagram of generator here. This is generator. The generator is supplying a current of 4 amperes. Here it is supplying a current of, here electrical load is connected, which is supplying a current of 4 amperes. This is the generator equivalent circuit. The generator is supplying a 4 amperes of current. From the Swinburne test, we know how much current is flowing through the field winding. That is 1 ampere of current taken. From the Swinburne test, we know this data. How much armature current here? Armature current equal to sum of these two currents. Sum of these two currents, nothing but a load current plus shunt field current. If you apply the Kirchhoff current law here, in case of generator, now the armature current equal to 5 amperes. Now here, as a generator, if we want to find out the efficiency, means this current you have to take it as a load current. This current you have to take it as a load current. Now the armature current equal to value of load current. The armature current equal to load current plus field current, that is equal to 4 plus 1, 5 amperes of current. Next we are going to calculate the armature copper loss. Armature copper loss equal to armature copper loss armature copper loss equal to IA square RA. We have taken the value of RA as a 1 ohm. So here 5 square into 1, nothing but a 25 watts. See, when the generator is giving a 4 amperes of current, the armature copper loss becomes a 25 watts. 25 watts. Now the losses in a generator, total losses in generator, total loss in generator equal to constant losses WC plus IA square RA. Nothing but a armature copper loss at this value of current. At this value of current. Now this is equal to 399 plus 25. We are getting the value as a 14 to 424 watts. Some value we are getting. This is the total losses in a generator, that is 424. That is 424. Now here the generator is supplying a voltage of, at what voltage it is supplying? See here we have taken the 200 volts. 200 volts. This is the total losses occurs in a generator. So at 200 volts, this generator is supplying 4 amperes of current. At 200 volts, the generator is supplying a 4 amperes of current. Now the output power equal to this voltage into this current, nothing but a 200 into 4, that we are getting a 800 watts. We are getting the 800 watts. See here, we know the output power and total losses in a generator. Now the input power equal to output power plus losses in a generator. 800 plus losses in a generator, we are getting the 424, 4 to 12 watts. This is the input power we are getting. So how we are getting the input power? Input power equal to output power plus total losses in a generator at 4 amperes of current. At 4 amperes of current. So once you know the input power and output power, now you find the efficiency of a generator. Efficiency of generator equal to output power divided by the input power into 100. We know the output power, that is we are getting the 800 divided by the 1224 into 100. We are getting the sum value here. In this manner, we are going to calculate the what is the efficiency of the generator. Supply voltage is 200 volts, the line current is 1 ampere, the shunt field current is 0.25 amperes. Case 1, as a motor takes a line current of 5 amperes, what is the efficiency? As a generator supplying a current of 5 amperes, what is the efficiency? These two we have to calculate. See here, first from the Swinburne test data, we are going to calculate what is the constant losses in a motor. So to find the constant losses, first of all, we should calculate what is the input power in a Swinburne test. The voltage into current in a Swinburne test is nothing but a input power the power taken by the motor in a Swinburne test. Next, copper loss. During the copper loss in a Swinburne test, that now once you know the constant losses, now as a motor, the first case we are going to solve what is the efficiency of the motor at 5 amperes of current. At 5 amperes of current, we are calculating the input power, that nothing but a voltage is constant. At 5 amperes, nothing but here, this is the input power taken by the motor, the voltage into current. Next, we are calculating the armature current. The armature current equal to line current minus shunt field current, nothing but 5 minus 0.25, we are getting the 4.75. Once you know the armature current, then you find the armature copper loss, you are getting the I square RA. Armature copper loss is the I square RA, that is equal to 4.75 square into 0.2, you are getting this value, that is 4.5125 watts. Next, the total losses occurs in a motor. The total losses equal to constant losses, nothing but this loss. The constant losses plus the total losses here. The total losses, constant losses plus armature copper loss, you are getting the total losses, that is 204.4 watts. And once you know the input power and the total losses, you are finding the output power. The output power equal to input power minus losses. This is the input power, this is the losses. We are getting the output power, that is 795.6 watts. Once you know the output power and input power, take the ratio between the output power to the input power into 100. That gives the efficiency of the motor, that is 79.5%. Now here we calculate the efficiency of the as a motor. Now we are going to calculate what is the efficiency of a generator when it is taking a current of 5 amperes. As a generator. So once you take it as generator, this is the load current. For the load current, you have to add the shunt field current, so that we are getting the armature current. See here, armature current. Next, the load current into voltage is giving the output power. So once you know the armature current, then you find the armature copper loss, that is equal to this value, 5.12 watts. The armature copper loss equal to 5.25. Armature current square into 0.2, you are getting the 5.12 watts. Once you know the armature copper loss, then you find the total losses. Total loss equal to constant losses. We got this value from the Swinburne test. The constant losses plus armature copper loss, you're giving the total losses in a generator, that is 205 watts. Once you know the total losses, then you have to find out the what is the input power to the generator. Nothing but input power to the generator equal to output power plus total losses in a generator, that we are getting the value as a 1205 watts. Once you know the output power and input power of generator, take the ratio between these two, that is we are getting the value as a 1000 by 1205 into 100, we are getting the 83%. See, in case of a motor, nearly we got the efficiency as a 75%, but in case of generator, we are getting the efficiency as a 83% for the same value of current, for the same value of load current. So nothing but the efficiency of generator is greater than the efficiency of the motor if you are operating the same machine as a motor as well as generator. Suppose if you have a one machine that we are operating as a motor, some value of load, the same value of load, if you are operating a generator, means the generator efficiency will be greater than the motor efficiency. That we can check out from this problem also. Cross check from this problem. Previously the motor efficiency we got at a 75%, whereas in this case we got the same machine, if it is operating as a generator at a 5 amperes of current, it is gives the value as 83%. Lecture we are going to discuss about the what are the different tests on a DC machine. There are two types of tests are there. One is direct test, another one is the indirect test. Direct test and indirect test. Under the direct test, we have discussed about the brake test. Under the indirect test, we have seen the Swinburne's test. Swinburne's test. Now, how do you calculate the efficiency of a DC motor or generator? In these two tests we have studied. In case of brake test, there is some amount during the test, there is some amount of power will be wasting, but we can calculate the efficiency of a motor. But in case of a Swinburne test, it is a no load test. It is a no load test. From this test, we are calculating only the constant losses. By using the data, constant losses, we are going to find out the what is the efficiency of the machine, whether it is a motor or generator at any value of current, But here the disadvantage of Swinburne test is we should not conduct a Swinburne test for the series motors. We should not conduct a Swinburne test at a series motor.